Hello everyone, welcome back. It's a beautiful mid-May day here in Western New York, and today's video is going to be about how to hand pollinate your pawpaw flowers. You can see the bugs and flies flying all over the place here on this sunflower pawpaw doing their work, but we're going to help them out with some hand pollination, so we'll take you on the journey through the whole process. So here's our natural pollinator at work here. Now, flies are not the most efficient pollinators, but they are pretty much what you're relying on if you're relying on natural pollination for pawpaws. Flies, bugs, creepy crawlies, but not bees. Bees really don't seem to have any interest in pawpaw flowers. That's pretty well known, and it's also been my experience as well. So, whereas bees are furry and their bodies collect all the pollen and efficiently move it from flower to flower, flies are just built differently. So while this guy is working hard here, as you can see, just not all that efficient, so we're going to help him out with some hand pollinating. So here's the process. This is a female flower. So pawpaw flowers will start green and then they'll turn red, and when they turn red, they're a female stage, where you see the stigma in the center there, the yellow part. That's where you're going to put the pollen from another tree of another variety. And this is the male stage flower, so as the flower matures, it'll become a male stage where it has pollen. The pollen in the center there kind of looks like cracked black pepper, like little grains of pollen. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to collect this pollen, and then we'll take it to another tree and pollinate the female stage flowers on that tree. And then we'll reverse the process by collecting pollen from the tree that we're pollinating and bringing it back to this tree, and just sort of go back and forth a whole bunch of times. So this is how I like to collect the pollen. I like to kind of knock it into a plastic container. What that does is helps in terms of if your trees are spread out. I mean, this tree is about 70 feet from our other pawpaw trees. You can hear a baseball game in the background. We're right by the high school, so it's kind of fun. It adds a little ambiance to what we're doing, and also feels like an event going on in the backyard. I kind of like it. So here is just the process again of collecting, just sort of knocking the pollen in. Some of the flowers like this one are pretty much done, so the petals might fall off. You're not hurting anything. We're just collecting the pollen, so there's a whole bunch ready to go, and some bugs too. So we'll head to the other tree and pollinate. So here's a female stage flower in our Shenandoah. So we'll dip the brush into the pollen that we collected, get some on the end of the brush as you see there, and we're simply going to insert it into the flower, place it against the stigma, and let the pollen stick inside the flower, and that's it. Well, here's a close-up of another flower. I brush it around. Sometimes you don't want to brush it too much. I think I overbrush this one. You almost just want to stick it in there and then pull the brush out and leave it at that, so you don't just undo everything you did by putting the pollen in there. But it's always going to stick. The flower is so sticky inside that the pollen's going to always stick in there, at least some of it. Here's an NC1 flower. I'm really excited about this one because we haven't had many flowers on that tree yet. So I'm hoping we haven't had a fruit yet either. This is overleaves, same thing, just really coming into its own this year with flowering. So we'll pollinate an overleaves flower, same deal. These last two have been a better example. Just sort of quickly put the pollen in, pull the brush out. And that's really the whole process. You just basically do that and then repeat it a whole bunch of times, dozens of times over and over from tree to tree. Very effective. Since I've been doing this, I found our fruit set is dramatically increased, and also the quality of the fruit, And if you're looking to make crosses, this is a good way to do it. You can sort of, pick certain ones to pollinate with certain other trees and come up with this, because of course the seeds are the baby, if you will, of the fruit trees, and so they'll have qualities of both parents but also be unique, and so that's how new varieties of pawpaws are developed. So thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. It's a pretty easy process, definitely worth doing, and just kind of a fun way to spend an afternoon here and there in the spring and kind of get excited about the idea of pawpaws coming up this fall, hopefully.